Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. I have rain ahead of me for the next few days, so my source key light, the sun, I can't really rely on it. So I got this makeshift thing. There's lots of shadows. It's kind of a very intense look going on in the visuals, but we're just gonna have to deal with it for a couple of days until the sun comes out. This week we start a new theme. We are doing, last week we had folk metal. We didn't really touch on any core folk metal music. I'd like to revisit the genre in the future and kind of check out some of the bands that maybe, created it, were there at the beginning of the creation of the genre. But I enjoyed what I listened to last week. This week we're checking out doom metal. And I do have a little bit of introduction to it, although I don't know if it's real doom metal. I've listened to Anathema's "A Fine Day to Exit," which doesn't sound like a metal album to me. It's very light and airy and serene, like a melancholy serene, I guess, like finding calm in the darkness. But it's not metal by any means. So I don't know if that's really doom metal, even though I have found out that Anathema is a doom metal band. But it's the only band that I've seemed to be familiar with in this genre. So we got some cool stuff picked out this week. Today we're starting off with a band. That's what we do here. We check out bands. So E.J. Hicks, Erida Sorn, Iligi, Behadar Ozer, Luke R., Mike Zen, and Adam Davis all requested Katatonia. And there was zero consensus. Every single person gave me a different song. So I went with Old Heart Falls, which was requested by the most earliest requester. The person who requested Katatonia first asked for Old Heart Falls, and somebody asked for anything off of the Fall of Hearts. So, two birds with one stone. I guess technically this does have 2 votes for it in a roundabout way. So let's check this out. It's kind of interesting. It's only a 4.5-minute song, which seems short for this channel, but I think that's just because we were doing a lot of really epic instrumentals and prog stuff for the last couple of weeks. 4 minutes actually is not super short. But yeah, let's get into this.
The weighted clouds coming by has me looking right here under the sky, and I left my home past the evening fire in the blink of an eye.
Very interesting rhythmic structure in the vocalist, who's choosing to accent very interesting parts of the sentence, as well as creating these hard stops in very interesting parts. It's definitely not very close to a way that we would normally speak these sentences. Gorgeous melodic work.
Sense my grave way below the mire. Sorrow will find you. Its voice is giving way to mine. Heart pumps death into our
really good layering. There's a lot going on here, but it's not overwhelming. Real heavy song with lyrics that are, hit just as hard. Really good cohesion between the themes and the themes in the music and the themes in the lyrics.
Time won't let go. It's got you in depth now, and it's got me crawling all the way back to the start. I swear that I saw you.
I hope I remember. Well, I'm just gonna say it now. Really good word painting there. It's talking about crawling on the ground, being brought down, and the bass comes down in a lot of that. And then he says back to where we start, and the bass returns to the root of the progression. Good stuff.
Sorrow will find you. For every dream that is left behind me, take a bow. With every war that will rage inside me, hear the sound of another day in this vanishing life. Return to dust, and every chance I pushed away to the night. Sense my grave way below the mire.
Is that that? Yeah, so that's it. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Yeah. So here's what's interesting is that this kind of lines up with my experience with Anathema. A Fine Day to Exit is an album that sounds a lot like this, and I don't equate that with metal. Is this doom metal? Because I get the doom aspect. This is a heavy song with, heavy ideas in the music. There's heavy ideas in the lyrics. I kind of see the connection there between the doom modifier to metal and, the concepts of the song, but I'm not seeing the metal. I'm not seeing a connection for metal there. Aside from the thematic elements, which would lead itself to doom, I could see this played on the radio. This is radio rock to me. In fact, there's a lot of elements of it that remind me of what Shinedown has done in some of their softer, more harder hitting tracks. Even the singer has that sort of powerful warmth in his voice, and it gave me like a Shinedown feel in the specifically in the chorus. The verse and the bridge, I don't think really gave me that notion, but definitely in the chorus. If someone had played me just the chorus and had said this is Shinedown's newest song, I wouldn't doubt them. It doesn't sound just like Shinedown, but I don't think it's far enough outside their wheelhouse either. And so yeah, I enjoy this, but it also has a very palatable, modern taste to it. A modern, palatable, mainstream taste to it. Like I said, I could hear this on the radio. I have heard songs like this on the radio. The only difference that I can really say is that this has a lot of layering in it. Usually, you don't hear that when you get to mainstream rock stuff, but it's not entirely unheard of. There are radio friendly rock bands that do heavy layering. So yeah, it's really interesting that this would be requested so much, given my subscribers, my viewers, my commenters, affinity towards complexity. This is to me, it's the exact opposite. So, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Like I said, there's a lot of good stuff in here. There's good layering. I really enjoy some of the guitar techniques going on, the theme, the tension, the emotion. There's not a lot of technical musicianship going on or intricate compositional techniques, but there is a lot of heartfelt emotion. You can feel the dread and sorrow of this guy and the band just come out in the playing. And, kind of tying back into my other experience with doom metal with Anathema, I'm kind of expecting that to be the growing trend for this genre. This being the opener of the week, I only have this one point of connection to kind of base my findings off of, my reactions to. But yeah, it's going to be more about how the song makes you feel and where your mind goes in the song more than the complexities of the song. And that's fine. We definitely need some of that too. I'm also expecting the doom and gloom lyrics. Just kind of fix that genre name into that. But yeah, so and that little bit of word painting, there might have been more, because the lyricist is very visual with his lyrics. But I was trying to pay attention to everything going. I didn't want to just focus in on that. But that little bit in the bridge, really genius stuff. Talking about being brought down and crawling on the ground, crawling on his belly, something about that, and crawling right back to where he began. And it's pretty much just him and the bass and the drums, and there might have been something atmospheric in the background behind that, but those were the three main voices. And the bass was doing the bass line, just sitting on one note, and then another note, and then another note. And as he says that he's being dragged down, he's crawling. The bass keeps dropping down, and then he says crawling back to where we began, or back to where we started, or something like that. And that's when the bass loops back and resolves back to the first, the home of the chord progression, back to where the chord progression started. So that was pretty cool. I dig that. I like to see that kind of stuff where the music follows in line with what's being stated. Cool stuff, cool stuff. So yeah, Katatonia. I dig it. It's definitely, I think this whole genre is going to be something that you have to be in the mood for. I don't think that these kind of heavy lyrics and kind of, pit of sorrow, musical atmospheres, soundscapes are going to resonate with everybody all the time. I don't see that. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I don't think there's anything wild that I'm stating there. But I do think that I could probably check out a Katatonia album. Like I said, I've listened to Anathema. I love A Fine Day to Exit. It's an amazing concept album. Um, so yeah, I dig this. I really do. If this is what doom metal is, I'm stoked for the rest of the week. And yeah, so this is where you guys come in though. Let me know what you thought of Katatonia. Let me know what you thought about the song, the lyrics, how it made you feel. If you heard them before, I really don't need any more suggestions with like 5 other ones in the comments, but feel free to add them. It's always nice to have a large list, and I can kind of see where the popular opinion's going. Like I said, with here, I pretty much just had one request for each song, and it's really difficult to pick from because it's basically just picking a name out of a hat. I don't have any connection or information about any of these tracks. So, yeah, if you can have a track, especially if you saw one present and you're like, yeah, I would much rather him check that one out, go ahead and post about it. That way, when I check the comments next time I revisit Katatonia, I can be like, oh, this one had a lot of comments requesting it. So I can definitely check that one out for my return to them. And while you're down there in the comments, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Feel free to check out my Twitter and my Patreon. Twitter, I post random musical things that don't really fit a reaction, but still that I'd like to share with people. Um, and on the Patreon, you can help shape the future of the channel and vote on future themes and future bands. And yeah, I guess that ties it up for today. I'll be back every day this week at 5 p.m. Until tomorrow, have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you chose to watch this, and stay safe out there.